Yeah. 6:30, I'll call this meeting to order. Bill's not gonna be here tonight because of a medical thing. Guess he's having his knee done, had his knee done today. Chairman's comments, do you have anything, George? I do not have anything. Letter of support, complete streets. Did we know if Lillian was coming in?
She did not say that she was coming in. I got legal's response.
Yeah, I saw that. Basically, it says that we shouldn't sign this until we find out what their plan is. Because otherwise, we're signing on to their
I
plan.
think I told her to come or about it, but that was a little while ago.
All right, well, we'll leave that on for the next meeting if she wants to come on. Julie McAdoo is supposed to be here for
Supposed to
the
be here too.
250th anniversary fund. No Julie. I guess we can go over this. It's not. They had a request from the Temple Historic District Commission for $300. They voted to approve for their cemetery. The Wives and Mothers Cemetery, they're gonna act out the grave sites over there with some other functions that they're doing with the library as well. So that one was approved, and the Drama Club for $800 to offset their cost for tickets for their drama club shows. And all of that money comes back into the community at some point or another. So that's basically what they had approved. They have a bank balance as of July 31st of $4,553.64.
We need to approve that.
I don't know if we do or not, but
I think you have in the past.
I think I'll move to approve.
all right, and I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Perkins Lane, Cam? And you're gonna need a microphone, Cam, because they can't hear you on
Sure.
the internet if you don't. Sorry, it was already on.
Is it green?
Yeah, it should be on.
Okay, can you hear
It
me?
was already on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That sounds like it's coming in, yes? Testing, 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 testing. Sound. Sound coming in. Good to
Yeah, you're all set.
Okay. We're back at Perkins Lane, and I just want to talk a little bit about what's happened. You may remember that last week, on the 13th, it was a Wednesday, there were two major rain squalls. One sort of late mid-afternoon, and then another one a couple of hours later, with lots of really hard rain. And the road, Perkins Lane, was badly eroded. And up by my house, it was eroded on one side, on the shoulder where it curves. Now, I know we have a lot of very vulnerable dirt roads in this town, and I don't like to pester the highway department. And I know, I can manage. So knowing that, I didn't say anything. But in a few days, the lower part of Perkins Lane, the flat part down below Johnston's, that was repaired. But I held off because, as I say, my part wasn't totally impassable. But last Friday, the 22nd, since nothing had been done, 9 days later, and I'm concerned really that another storm may make that road impassable. I stopped by the highway garage in the afternoon. I think it was just before leaving time, and the guys are sitting around chatting in the hall, in a garage there. And I asked, when does Perkins Lane get done? And Mr. Perry, very snarky, said, "We don't do that anymore. It's a private drive." And I said, "Well, you know, how do we know this?" "Well, there's a paper." And he asked, "Steve, do you have it?" "No." "Well, get it down at the office. You can get Timmy to fix it." Anyway, so this is a problem because, number one, I still don't know where this comes from. And I would like to know if the select board knew. Were you aware that the road had been turned into a private road by Mr. Perry?
Well, there was some talk of it, but I didn't.
I don't think it's been turned into a private road yet.
Well, Mr. Perry says it's a private road and he's not working on it anymore.
Yeah.
I-
Want to grab the mic, or we want to let her finish first and then we can go ahead with you?
Well, if you didn't know about it, I was stunned if you knew about it and nobody notified me. I mean, this is a road that's been a public way forever. And I think the selectmen are usually in charge of public ways in the town. And I think if it was known that this was no longer a public way, which would obviously impact me, and I think everybody knows the property is for sale, and that means it's nice if people can drive up and take a look. Anyway, I was sort of stunned, and Mr. Perry hadn't bothered to tell me. It wasn't until 9 days later I walked in and asked, and really got a very abrupt, rude response, and telling me I could get Timmy to fix it. That's not a response. I would also say that were it true, unless it was identified by the town officially as a public road, a private individual has a lot of liability. You can't just go fixing a public road just because you're annoyed by it. You can't call up Timmy to say, "Would you come and fix the public road?" So I'm asking the selectmen come and take a look at the road and see what they think should be done. And I also would like some evidence of Mr. Kent's persuasion that this is suddenly, after hundreds of years, turned into a private drive. Thank you.
I would agree with you, Cam. We've tried a couple times to have the town discontinue doing the town roads. And every time it's been failed in the town meetings. I'll discuss that with Mr. Perry.
Okay, timing is everything. So I've been doing the study on this particular road for a couple of weeks now, and I went back as far as 1975. That particular map just makes clarity as to the loop in the road here. Perkins Lane, I checked the state nodal maps, which is the mapping done to do our block grant. The oldest one looks like this. This also includes Perkins. Perkins is a 0.2. The measurement is 1,056 feet. So the Perkins Lane ends at the phone pole, the last phone pole, which is on the corner right there. That's what this map boys show it. So this loop that goes up towards the house is private. And now we've started with Holt Lane and a lot of other roads in town and driveways in town. We cannot work on private property. That's why I called it private. It starts, and you can have this right there. And there's your house, there's the well, there's the last pole. Perkins ends right there. So this loop up, the nodal map. So once a year, the state pays us block grant funding. I think I got my glasses on, but fine. There it is right there. And there's a distinctive measurement of the road that the state pays us for because it's a town road. And I measured it off, and that's where it ends, exactly at 1,056 feet. So from that point up, when they did your house on this one, that's your private driveway.
I think this is a very frail argument. I think the town has been maintaining this road at least since my grandmother built the house, and that's 1936. So that's about 80 years. And I remember Clemmy working on it, Charlie Willard worked on it. I think Wilfred Weston worked on it, and certainly Harold Colgan worked on it. This I'm not just talking plowing. This road has been thoroughly maintained, and not to mention Timmy for the last number of years. It's been maintained as well as plowed. And I know Mr. Perry is desperate to get out of this road. I understand that, but I don't think pulling me down is the way to do it. And if this is where we're going, I think either the town, the selectmen, you should talk to your lawyers, because I'm going to talk to mine.
The reason we have several of these roads, yours isn't the only one. Holt Lane, Derbyshire, Jessen. Indeed, they were maintained for years and years and years. And now, since the state has stepped in, all of these maintenances ceased when they told us to no longer snowplow on private property or do work on private property due to liability issues. And since year before last, when we had the run-in with the Levesques, we also, the select board, voted to absolutely positively no work done on private property. So I've gone by the RSAs and the code of the state, and this is going to come up later on because these particular roads, I'm also going to ask the public to decide whether they want to continue to maintain them or not. They may want to. That's the position I have to take. It's not my decisions. It's not your decision. It's not anybody's decision, but the public. So it's going to come up in March. But in the meantime, I cannot work on private property. And that's clear. This is clearly private property. That's where I'm at.
I've always known it as being a town road, Kent.
A town road to,
Along with all the other roads.
yeah, oh
They
yeah.
could go up Holt Lane. For
But they're
two
not.
different years now, you've tried to get those discontinued at town meeting, and they won't discontinue them.
The reason they won't discontinue is because discontinuance isn't what you ask for. You ask for discontinue subject to gates and bars. Therefore, it remains a town road. You just don't maintain it. The resident who lives on it will maintain it. That also goes true for if a person buys a piece of property on a class 6, they want to live out on that town road, they can, but they have to maintain that piece of road. And that's according to the state. So each one of these things I'm asking for has an RSA attached to them. It's the new law. It's the way it's going to be because of insurance and liability. If I go up into her yard and clip her awning and drop the roof on all her cars up there, it's on me because it's not a town road. The insurance company is not going to pay for an accident on private property, and I could get sued. And it would be justifiably so because the residents of this town aren't going to pay for it either.
What's the RSA on it?
I'd have to give me a chance to look it up.
Okay,
But
I want to know because they've always taken care of those roads. in
yeah,
the
well,
past.
the same thing, George, is happening on Holt. Halfway up Holt stops where the Kylie's buried it. And we've been going up and around and turning around in the yard and coming back down off on private property. We cannot do that.
Perkins Lane is a totally different situation. I have nothing That road has nothing in common with these other roads, nothing. I want to show you this picture. This is from the temple history. That's Mr. Drury's house in about 1770. And that house is at the top of Perkins Lane, where my house is now, on the old foundation. Now, I don't think Mr. Drury thought it was a private road. And if you look, you'll see, yes, when you get to the end of that, there is a whole swath of driveway that goes to the garage. I have never asked anyone to do anything on that. In fact, I have had Timmy work on it. And I have some other things too. I just think this is a bad mission, and I think it's wrong because this has always been a road. Most of you, I think, are familiar the way it goes. It comes off Foster, it goes up, it stops at Johnston's, it doesn't stop, it keeps going, and it goes up, curves around, and stops. And after it curves around, it ceases to be a public road. Agreed, it's always been agreed. But how can you say that the last 100 feet of it are private? The Johnston's house was built after my grandmother built her house, and the road was there then. So, I'm happy to go to the mattresses on this. That's what everybody wants to do. But I don't think this has anything to do with the other problems.
Well, I think at this point, we need to stop and do that. I think we need to go to the lawyer and find out what our avenues are and see. And I know for a fact, because of Primex, because of private property, because of snow plowing, we are not allowed on private property wherever that starts or ends. And I know that to be a fact. So I think this is going to have to go to the insurance company and to the lawyers to figure out what the initial, or how we fix this issue. And I don't think there's a whole lot more we can do about it, but we will send it to the lawyers first thing in the morning. Yep. I don't know why it keeps going off. I think it goes into sleep mode. I don't think it does show down there though. Went off again.
As long as we have the audio.
Way beyond my thing, but the audio is the most important part. And I think if you're on, everybody's on anyway. We still should have audio.
Said one participant.
All right, Julie's here. I kind of went over real quick what your letter stated, but if you want to go over it, you can.
Okay.
Yes. It's because anybody that's on the internet can't hear you without it.
Okay. So it sounds like the select board has already just went over this at the meeting. Is that right? You already discussed it here
Yeah, I
tonight?
just went through and basically what your letter said.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was late. Yeah, we just, the advisory committee for the anniversary fund met and we had 2 applications and we approved both of them. One is for the Historic District Commission. They have an event, reenactment event they're planning, and they wanted $300 to help them put that on. They are also contributing some of their own funds or funds from other sources. And the Temple Drama Club is the second application that we approved. They requested $800. They have increasing costs over the years, royalties particularly, that have become very steep. And I just want to mention that any volunteer donations that are taken in from the audience at the Temple Drama Club, those funds are all turned around and put back to work in the town. So that's a great, they're a great outfit and they do good for the town. So we in our committee, we approved both of those, and I would like to just repeat that was our decision, and we hope you'll go with us on that. That my only question was a couple of things. I'm not sure how to deliver these awards because, well, the drama club has its own account now, and that one's pretty straightforward. At the bottom of my letter, right before I signed off, it showed that the treasurer is Maureen Cullinan of the drama club,
Yep.
and she could be issued a check. I think that's pretty straightforward as the club has its own separate account just for drama club purposes, and she's the treasurer. For the Historic District Commission, they don't have their own checking account, and Lillian LaBelle was the person who submitted the application, and she's been in touch with me by email, and I wanted to ask you whether the board would approve cutting a check to her. She has proposed an option if that's not comfortable for the select board. She's just an individual who's on the Historic District Commission. She had asked the library if they would accept the money because they're participating in the event that this money is going towards. So if the town wanted to issue a check to an organization, it could go to the library and they would hold it. The library would hold the funds for the Historic District Commission. I don't know if you care how
Yeah,
you,
we could do the same thing with the general fund. We could
just put it-
send it to the general fund and then she could just ask for reimbursements against it.
and she asks the treasurer, or who does she go to?
She would ask, I guess it would go to Carol and then go in, get deposited in the account, and then anything that goes in, she'd have to ask for a reimbursement, and that check would be cut
From the general
during
fund?
AP funds, when AP funds are cut. So it'd be every 2 weeks,
Okay, so,
basically, if she wanted to go that route. I mean, we could do the same thing for the library, but they're gonna have to do the same thing anyway.
okay, so it's probably easier to just have it go to the general fund?
Have it go to the general
All right,
fund and,
and then she'll communicate with Carol?
yeah, and then the bookkeeper can keep a separate journal of that until
Okay.
it's gone or whatever's left, and they can either return it to you or whatever, but then that way we have accounting for it. If you give it to Lillian,
You don't know where it
I
goes?
I don't think she wants to put herself in that kind
Right.
of spot either.
Okay,
Julie, I assumed that you were paying this out of the 250th anniversary fund.
absolutely,
She
yeah,
is.
yes. That's all coming out of the funds that we hold. Well, you hold, the town has a checking account for the anniversary fund that actually has,
We
About-
have the account for that.
you have that, and the account
Okay.
has about $4,000 in it. So this is a small amount. We'd like to spend more. We keep encouraging people to apply, but so the money gets used. But there's plenty of money, and it's all held by the town in your 250th anniversary fund account.
Yeah, so,
Dan and I have already approved this
yeah.
before you got here tonight.
Okay, great. Thank
So
you.
if we already have an account for the 250th anniversary, if Lillian just puts in check requests against that account, then the treasurer can write her a check.
Yeah, that's what I
I
think
think that would be quicker.
I think that's what's happened in the
versus-
past.
Yeah,
So I will tell Lillian to ask Carol? No.
No.
Ask the treasurer,
that's the treasurer,
Sherry.
Sherry,
ask Sherry Fitz.
yeah. And she would just have to do the same thing. She would just have to make a check request or turn in receipts. And then whoever would get reimbursed for that.
Okay, all right.
Or
So,
if she had an invoice for something, she could turn it in and then get the check and go to the vendor and purchase whatever they're gonna do, because it does say for costumes or what have you.
yeah, I think I think it would be easier for her to get the full amount and then they're going to spend it for a variety of different things for the Historic District Commission, I think. There'll be,
I think they still just need to show receipts.
okay, all right,
Yeah, and I think if they do it through, see, the problem is that we don't have anything set up for the historic district. They haven't asked for any money, so we don't have an account for them.
right,
So they can't show anything on their end as going in and going out, but you do as a 250th anniversary fund, we can show going in and out of there, or we can go to the general fund and she can do it out of the general fund. Problem with the general fund is the AP is only done once every 2 weeks. Where Sherry, if she's in every week, can do a check whenever she
yeah.
needs to cover whatever invoices she has.
But you're saying, and Carol is saying that Sherry needs invoices before,
She's New to this role too, so she's probably never done this type of thing,
Right.
so she may call on Peter just to ask how it's done. I'm not sure she's gonna know exactly how to do it.
okay. Because usually Peter hears from me or from you directly after this meeting. And you say it's approved,
Cut the check.
cut the check, and then Peter cuts the check to whomever.
Well, not Peter, but
But
Sherry.
Sherry now,
Sherry will, yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I will reach out to her and just give her a heads up that this is coming and any questions she has or she can.
okay. But she and Maureen for the other award both need to initiate this with Sherry. Sherry's not going to know unless they,
Yeah, well, I don't know. Ken, did you just say we can take this select board minutes in this thing here and just say that this was approved at our meeting and
Yes, and give it to Sherry and she should be able to do whatever she needs to do with it.
know who she's cutting the check to,
Yeah.
which would be,
Well, I think the only question is, Maureen's on the drama account,
right?
for the town. So I don't think that that's an issue because that goes into their own account. I think the issue is, the Lillian, we don't have her on any accounts, nor do we have an account for that.
But again,
Historical District Commission, so,
right, again, she suggested that it go to the library and the librarian agreed to hold it because the library is participating in the event that they're getting the funds for.
yes, and it can go that way if she wants it to go that way. I'm just saying it would be quicker if she just took it out of the 250th anniversary funds. Because,
Well, it's coming out of there anyway.
right, because Sherry, if she got an invoice or she got something that says that she needed a check, she could make a check request for an incoming invoice or whatever she's gonna pick up. And Sherry would give her a check for that until the invoice comes in. Now Sherry could do that. I don't know when Sherry's in the office, but I assume it's more than twice a month. We're only here twice a month to sign
Right,
stuff. So the only thing that gets done other than payroll gets done every week, but everything else gets paid every 2 weeks. So then she would have to wait 2 weeks depending on when she put the invoice in order to get paid.
yeah,
I'm just trying to figure the faster way she can get her money
Yeah.
reestablished or back to her versus hanging out in the general fund for 2 weeks before
right.
she has a pile of bills.
In the past, I mean, this has been going on for many years. And the money is just, if it's approved, it's just gone to the individual or the organization who's going to spend it. And we, the advisory committee, look at their application and their details of invoices or anticipated expenses.
Yeah. Well, what I'm really trying to say is that Lillian herself, if she gets this check,
Yeah,
she is going to have to somehow keep track of all this.
okay,
And it's going to have to be part of the record
okay,
for the town or for
Okay.
your records and her
Right.
records for
right,
the thing. So, I mean, if she wants to do that herself, that's fine by me.
Okay.
I'm
I'll-
just trying to simplify it as to
Right.
we already have it somewhere so we can write off of those accounts.
Okay, well, I'll check with her. I imagine she's going to be willing to do that, that she will take it and she'll keep track of the invoices as they come in and expenses are paid. But again, if you just let give Sherry a heads up that
Yep.
this is happening.
Yep, we can
And
send
I'll
her,
get in touch with Sherry also.
yeah, we can send her your letter and we'll send her a set of minutes that we've already approved that.
Oh, great,
So
okay.
we weren't sure if we had to or not. I know a lot of times we have to accept
Yeah,
money. We
actually,
weren't really accepting it, but we
Right.
did approve it, so
right.
it's on record that,
Right. It's kind of strange because we've been looking at trying to dot the i's and cross the t's, and supposedly the advisory committee is able to make the decision, but you hold the funds. So
Right.
I've always felt
Yeah.
like I need to come to the town because you could reject it.
yeah.
I mean, you have the authority to say,
I don't think we ever have. I mean, we go by whatever your
Yeah,
recommendations
yeah.
are, so.
so. Can I just take a minute to say one more thing, which is I've been on this committee forever, and I don't think I should be on it forever. And I would like to retire. And as far as I know, the protocol is that if we want, if the advisory committee would like to have another board member come on, the select board should advertise for that position so that it's publicly known.
We can do two things. We can advertise, we don't necessarily go outside, but we can put it on our website.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
other thing we can do is if the committee itself has a recommendation, if they send that forward with a letter from that person that wants to be on expressing interest, we would just appoint them to that position.
Right. And we are definitely looking, so we will look ourselves for try to find someone who would like to come on and invite them to our meeting. But if you want, I don't know when you would want to go ahead and put it up on the website that there's an available.
If you want to send
Position.
something to Carol, we'll send it to Carol.
All right, I'll send it to Carol with a description.
Yeah, and we can have her post Carol, the other Carol post it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your service.
Could we go back to Perkins again?
No, we're not going back to Perkins again.
We've got a question.
Okay. George, you want a minute to read that before? If you want to make a comment or not? But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're gonna send it to legal, and I think that's where it should go at this point. Because there's no use in us going back and forth when it has to be, it's gonna end up to be a legal thing.
You already go through a bunch of legal stuff when we tried to make it. Put it on the,
We did, they asked. They asked.
so I need to know,
Right,
to know what I'm asking them when I'm.
But I'm saying
hang on a second.
it's not a private road. It's still a town road.
There's more that he.
Well, what it says there, you talked about private road.
Now was that. If he will stop it, as he says.
In closing, I just would like to make a request or a demand for the documents that Mr. Perry produced. They can be sent to me by mail, or I'll pick them up, or they can be sent to me by email. But I would like to have those for my going forward. Thank you again. And thank you for giving me this time and listening to my complaining.
Hopefully we can get this worked out fairly quickly. You can give those to Carol too. She can put them in electronically while she sends it to the lawyer as well. I think that would probably be better. We talked about the complete streets. The only other thing I have on here is minutes. George has a committee report. Do we have any other business before we do committee report?
I move that we approve the minutes of the last meeting as printed.
I only have one change to that. Under the first page, under the Smoky Bear, the bear sign. It doesn't state, Cromwell at the end. Cromwell stated that the sign should be sold. I just want to add that in there. So you want to make a motion to accept as amended?
And move to accept it as amended.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. You guys have anything else? Yep.
I have some things to the letter. Making up Carol, it's just Lillian LaBelle description about, her asylum. Yeah, you can have this whole thing. You just had this second page.
Okay,
with the Lillian.
perfect. And did you have that training thing you wanted to talk about or no?
Julie,
The other business training item?
Yes, I want to get to that.
Thank you.
I also wanted to get to the letter, that Kent, while Kent's here, for Tainter Lane, I believe. Yeah. We sent it to legal. She said she has to rewrite it. She's gonna send it back. So that's where that's at. I just want you to know. And then the other thing, George, I was looking at is that there's a conference by the NHMA on October October 4th. That's a Saturday from 9 to 3. NHMA members are $115. I would like to go to this for a couple of different reasons, and I think we can ask the same of Bill. If we
the
could do
land
it.
use law conference.
Yes, but it has a lot to do with changes in well, it's planning board roles and responsibilities. Strength, collaboration between land use boards and planning professionals. And then there's planning, zoning, and building codes law in 2025 changes that I'd really like to participate in. If you want to join us, join me, or whoever else wants to go. I don't know if anybody from the planning board's planning on going.
What did we say was in the budget, 500?
You said there was 500, yeah.
71 has been spent. So
And what do you need to go to that?
$115 to the NHMA.
I'd approve $115.
Okay.
do you want to go too though, or just vacant?
No, I've been to them
Okay,
a couple of times when I first got on the select board.
And I'm not gonna vote. I'm gonna abstain because I'm the one going, so we'll have to ask Bill in an email if he can approve that.
Ready for committee?
And then we'll do committee reports. Yep.
Okay. I want all the Zoom listeners to hear this.
Hopefully they're listening.
I attended the SAC meeting on August 21st, 2025. That was the SAC meeting at 6 p.m. and then the feasibility study committee at 7 p.m. along with 13 other attendees. The school board is studying the expansion of multi-class sizes. I think it would not only just be economical, but it would also be effective. They are adopting the elimination of cell phone use for high school students during the school day. The cost of a cell phone case is at $14 to $30 each, which will be paid for by the school. And they've organized a facilities committee to evaluate all of the Conval school facilities as to the use of those facilities. They established a new education committee to look into math, reading, and special education. As of this date, there are 1,899 students enrolled, with $7,358 per student provided by the state. You currently have 465 special education students enrolled, representing 29.113% of the budget. The New Hampshire average to educate a special education student is $31,093, which includes the special education teachers. The Francistown School represents 8.9% of the Conval budget. They still have a lot of work to do, which includes transportation and other costs. This meeting ended around 8:30. Thank you.
And on the back page that he has the,
This just gives you a per student cost,
yeah. You want,
elementary, middle, and Conval.
you want to have this attached to the, next week's, next meeting's, agenda, not agenda, but, minutes? You want to have that attached to the minutes next meeting? Or
Sure,
this meet,
be attached to this meeting.
be attached for this meeting's
Yes.
minutes, yes. All right, you want to give Carol a copy of that?
Yeah,
Well,
you gave me.
You have a
Yeah.
copy. I already
Yep,
gave Carol.
okay.
I gave myself a copy. And I got one for Bill.
All right, and I think that brings us to a close, if I can get a motion to, unless there's anything else?
Is,
Nothing else? Motion
yeah,
to adjourn?
there's still one left.
Still one left.
Is that, or maybe that's other business.
Well, the NHMA was other business and the letter was other
Okay.
business.
Yeah, I think we
So,
covered everything.
I will second the move to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, good night, everyone. And that's just straight on that time. And